So for question 1, I have what other states have I hiked in? I've hiked in Arizona, Utah, and Zion and Canyonlands, and then Washington and I think California. And then if I want to add like out of the country, I've hiked in like the desert of Israel and the Dandenongs, like the rainforest in Australia, and at Mount Chingcheng, like it was like a hike to temples in China. Yeah. And then for question 2, you said which 3 hikes were your favorite? I'm just gonna go like favorite over quarantine. And the first would be Druid Arch in Canyonlands. That was the 11-mile hike I did that I got lost during, so we went 14. But like the destination was really cool. It was really pretty the whole time. And then number 2 is Brown's Ranch in like northern Scottsdale. It's pretty close to my house, and I usually go like before the sun rises because then when you watch it, it's gorgeous. The desert landscape is really pretty, and I just really enjoy it. And then third would be Fossil Creek. The creek itself is like beautiful. But the hike, you see a lot of trees, it's pretty flat, so it's relatively easy, and I just recommend going at a cooler time of the year. And then I gave like a solid 4th too, which was like Bear Mountain in Sedona, because I went with my mom. It was just really nice. It's like 5 miles, so it was a little longer than we expected, but views are definitely worth it. And then for the third question, how do I feel after a long hike? The day after a long hike, I usually feel pretty pooped, pretty exhausted. I usually just want to sit back, like, get replenished with nutrients, food and water, watch a lot of Netflix, and sleep. And then for the 4th question, you said, how did I get into hiking? My parents are very athletic. My dad likes to mountain bike, so does my brother, and my mom loves to run, but like all together, my parents just love hiking. So starting from like the age of 5, like every time they wanted to hike, they usually just brought my brother and I along. So we started going to like smaller ones around the Phoenix area, and every time we traveled, we'd go for like family hikes. And then as I got older, we'd go for like longer ones and cooler destinations. And yeah, I just kind of fell in love with it. I really like nature. I like going with people. I started bringing my friends along too, and I think it was just like a great way to explore, get to know like where I am, find like more to do in more places, and yeah. And then 5, are there any places you want to hike? So many. I made a list. I already had a list, but I made it longer. So a few in Arizona I want to check out are Wet Beaver Canyon Loop. I think that's in Sedona. I think it's called Sibique Falls. It's this waterfall that just looks gorgeous. And then I want to hike to Havasupai Creek and like falls in the Grand Canyon. I know it's like a lengthy one. I think it's like 10 miles in and out, but seems 100% worth it. And then I want to really find more in Tucson since like I don't know that many mountains there, so I'd like to get to know more in it. And then I'd love to return to Zion. I was only there for a day, so I'd love to hike more there in Utah. And I really want to hike in Glacier National Park in Montana. That would be insane. That's like my dream right now. That's like all I want. And then I want to explore most of the national parks in the US. The Blue Ridge Mountains around West Virginia, those seem very cool. I've seen some awesome looking trails in California and Hawaii with like rainforest and trees near the beach. Definitely would be down for those. And then outside of the US, the Swiss Alps and like mountains in Germany seem cool. I'd love to check out some more like temple hikes in Japan and Asia. And did I write anything more? I'm a travel junkie, so really I just want to go for hikes everywhere. I think that's like my way of exploring places. Yeah. And then you added like an extra one, and I'd love to answer it. You said recommendations of hikes within a few hours of Tucson. So I said specifically in Tucson, my dad recommended any trails around Sabino Canyon, and I also heard Tumamak Hill is cool. And if you like drive up Mount Lemmon, I know there's like a lot of trails off to the side of like a lot of stops up the mountain, and they would probably all be interesting. And in Phoenix, like around the Phoenix area at least, I would definitely recommend Brown's Ranch Trailhead, 100%. It's beautiful. 40th and Shea, it's like 40th and Shea is like cross streets of it, but it's just like a mountain. There's a few mountains there, and there's multiple trails. Piestewa Peak, Pinnacle Peak, Camelback Mountain. Camelback Mountain's a big one. That's like the touristy spot of Phoenix. Tom's Thumb, that's really nice, and Lookout Mountain. And then I said if you want more trails in northern Arizona, or like Sedona. In Sedona, popular ones are Devil's Bridge and West Fork Trail and Oak Creek Canyon and Cathedral Rock. And then I've also heard Bell Rock is cool if you want something a little shorter, and I really liked Bear Mountain Trail. In Prescott, I'd recommend Watson Lake Loop, and then I've been to Thumb Butte Trail, which is beautiful, and Lynx Lake Loop, would 100% recommend that. And then I definitely recommend going to Fossil Creek. It's about an 8-mile round trip, but worth it. And in Flagstaff, I've heard Fisher Point is cool, but I have yet to explore more of it. And if you want to know like any more, honestly, just like I'll send you my number or something, because I have a lot to explore, a lot to learn, but a lot to share too. Yeah.